Yo! Welcome to the first episode of Paladins Debunked. For every one of the 42 champions in the game, we'll release an episode thoroughly explaining them. It's going to be like more on the serious side, but there's going to be some epic funny moments in there, you know what I'm saying? This episode, we'll start with my favorite healer, Damba. Damba's direct attack, Spitting Cobra, is far from ideal. It unfortunately follows the laws of gravity, because as he's a little baby boy, a little baby.
I, Isaac Newton, I'm proud to announce that gravity has been officially created. No. Isaac, no.
Making it difficult to aim. By default, hitting an enemy with his autos charges your ultimate for 2.5%. As well as only having 10 charges, your Cobra only fires its spell on every 0.55 seconds with a range of 300 units, dealing a pretty shitty 400 damage to an enemy champion. This is only useful to spam on the point when all of your abilities are on cooldown, but fortunately the reload is much more viable. Dama is one of the only champions with an active reload ability, which is called Snake Toss. His default reload time is 2 seconds, and he's able to toss his Cobra at 1.8 seconds into the animation. Upon landing, his Cobra deals 200 damage and stuns for 1 second. If the Cobra hits an enemy, it'll charge your ult for 3.5%. This, like his direct attack, is affected by gravity, and therefore it's pretty hard to aim. If you want to spam his reload, Def Chance is highly recommended. However, this takes credits away from buying Chrono, so it depends on what you prefer. Snake Toss is good for assisting your team by stunning an enemy tank. Much like Makoa's hook, your team should turn and focus on the victim of Damba's stun. Now his right click is called Mending Spirits. So it heals an ally for 280 health for 5 seconds, which is 70 health every quarter of a second. As it's on a 3-second cooldown, it's not auto aim like Furia, and if you miss it, it goes back to 3, so it's pretty dependent on you having good aim. Each buff charges your ult by about 0.5% per second, unless you heal someone who's at full health, which doesn't charge your ult. It's good for pocketing your DPS or flank if they're going to zone, or your tank if they're pushing up to go for dismounts. Damba's Q is Gork. It's thrown at like about a medium speed, and when it hits the ground, it lasts for about 5 seconds, 4.8 to be exact. Heals for 300 per second, damages enemies for 200 per second. It charges your ult for about 1.12% per second per enemy damaged, and 0.5% per second per ally healed, except for overhealing. It can be thrown at a max of 150 units, and it can bounce off walls. It's good for topping off your team if they're all grouped, or good for zoning enemy team off point. It's also good for self-healing. Now his F is Slither. You slither forward about 50 units, becoming untargetable but not invisible for 1 second. It is affected by gravity, so if you jump off a platform and slither, you're going to end up on the lower platform. It's good for running away from flanks if you're being flanked, or for touching point. Then this ult, you fire a little orb that when it hits the ground or when you reactivate it, explodes into a 150 unit circle that fears all enemies inside of it for 2 seconds. It can be detonated early by pressing the primary fire button or ult button again, and it cannot fear targets behind walls. So his counter picks, since he's a healer, all flanks, but Buck, because Buck is really bad. Buck is real. Guys, listen. Buck? Nah. So all flanks but Buck counter him. Mostly Eevee and Xin are his worst counter picks. All damage, I'd say, counter him because they just have so much more DPS and they can just burst him down. And then some tanks, like the ones that kind of dive your backline, like Ashe, Makoa, Khan, Atlas, and Barrack. The other ones like Terminus, they're manageable with Damba because you can slither away and stuff. And then certain healers also counter him, like Janos, because he can just hide behind walls and lift you and run away. Furia, because she deals more damage than he does. And Pip, because he has more burst and mobility and a self-heal. He counters only certain healers, which are Grok, Grover, Saris, and Yang. He has 3 talents, which are Spirits Chosen. When you right-click, it heals an ally for 370 health up front. Wakono's
Wrath,
which your Snake Toss or your reload becomes faster and deals 700 damage. And Wakono's
Curse,
which you can now right-click an enemy and it will deal 560 damage for 2 seconds. I memorized all of those anyways. Your items. If you're running Spirits Chosen, you start Chronos, then get Chronos 2, then either go Haven or Blast Shields depending on who their main source of damage is. Then you get Chronos 3, and then the third and fourth items are kind of up in the air. You can go morale boost if they have no resilience, because you can just keep spam ulting and getting picks and then winning the point or pushing point. You get deft hands if you keep getting killed by their flank, so that you can counter them, stun them, and then slither away and let your team deal with it. Or resilience if they have a lot of CC, like Bomb King and Inara. Or you could go the less meta option, but I still think it's pretty good, is Veteran, because you basically, like, when you get out of combat, you can just go straight back in. If they have burst like Strix, Shalin, or Nessa. Now trust me, I'm kind of a Dombo one trick, so these are all like balanced, and they work in practically any situation. And then skins. This is the most important. Huh? Hello? Yeah, they unplugged. Sick! Now we move to the topic of skins, which is the most important in my opinion. Not opinion. This is facts. I'm spitting facts from here on out, okay? Okay? Only facts, only true. Alright, from best to worst. You have Na'Vi. I think that's how you say it. The gourd looks, that's basically it. And then the golden skin, because you can just flex on everybody. The Chancellor, because his gourd and his slither animation and right click look fantastic. The Shadow Lord, because you look spooky. And, you know, you don't even have to fear the enemy flanks, because they're going to be scared anyways. They're just going to run away. And then Cosmic, so you can flex on people more. Dragon Forge, to show that you spent money on the game. Wickerman, because you look like Fiddlesticks from League of Legends, and he's pretty game. Steel Forge, which also shows you spent money on the game. Obsidian, which shows that you doesn't show anything. It just shows that you're back. Okay, so don't use that skin. Then the Defiler, which you're purple, and that's pretty okay. Cursed, which you're orange, and that's also pretty okay. Then Prickly, which makes your head a cactus, which in my opinion is epic. And then at last, your default. And finally, the maps he's good on are Splitstone Quarry, because he can just sit on high ground and then heal the team, and if he gets flanked, he can just slither either left or right and then just get protected by his team. He's good on Fish Market, because once again, he can just sit on high ground and heal, and if he needs to run away, he can just kind of hide on the ramps. And then Frozen Guard, because same thing. He's a pretty passive healer. He can just sit in the little like columns and then heal from there, heal from low ground, high ground. If he gets flanked, he can just slither out. He's got easy escape routes on these maps. And finally, Frog Isle, which he's fine, mostly because he can just hide behind the walls. And his ult is also really good because he can free people off the map. And yeah, that's my dog. Alright, that's gonna be the end of the video. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe. Comment below who you want us to, you know, spotlight? That's not a verb. I think I have, yeah. Comment who you want to see on the next video, who you want us to showcase. We don't have a specific order. We're just going to be kind of showing off our main champions and then going to the ones we're not really familiar with or we don't like. Dredge. Yeah. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.